So I ran out of space on that recording. So I was just saying in that last recording we were on the calendar, and the calendar has links to each class section. And once you've logged them into Electa once and you've had it save their password, they can always come and click on these links or copy and paste these links, and they'll get to the correct class session, whether it's classroom 1, classroom 2, classroom 3, and they won't have to think about that. So that kind of helps you set this up so it's easier for them. Class section 2. Okay, they can come to either class session, whatever is more convenient for you. There's 2 sessions to this. We'll be covering the same material. They can come to both if they like. The other thing that's on here is office hours. I have 90-minute office hours. Sometimes my other life will intervene and those office hours have to be canceled, but I try to keep them just about every week. The first thing we cover is if anybody has any questions about homework in any of the classes that I'm taking, or classes, understanding from things that went on in lecture. But then it's just a meetup after that, and we work on individual projects that people are doing just for fun. We talk about quantum physics, we talk about linguistics, different things. It's kind of a little meetup thing, and that's office hours. Your student, and I really do try to do this with each student, is get some actual one-on-one time. That's, office hours is open for everyone in my classes to come to, but to schedule some one-on-one time, if you go back to our welcome pages, on the bottom of the welcome page, whoop, I'm not on the welcome page, I'm on week 1. On the bottom of the welcome page is need to schedule some time with Mrs. Whitson. And you can click on that and just look for an available time. These are mostly my classes. I try to keep Monday and Thursday relatively free, but that's free-ish if you click on it, because if that's the only time you can meet with me, I will do my best to meet then. I do have time often on weekends. I meet in evenings, and usually Skype is best for that so we don't have to take up the classroom time. But I really encourage, especially my computer programming, I like to meet with students several times a day. Not a day, sorry. I do like to meet with students, but several times during each semester, so don't feel like it's just once or twice or I've done it too much. If I have free time open and nobody else is taking that time, please sign up to do some programming with me one-on-one. Okay. To do that, and this is an important thing, we have an assistant teacher, Heather, and my email is not a good way to get to me and get a good response back unless it is also to Heather. So the best way to get to me and get an appointment is to go to Messages and go to Inbox. It's kind of interesting because Inbox is also your outbox. And then your student can just press Write, and you can, under the 2, let's see, you can click All Teachers. If you click All Teachers and say, need an appointment or something like that, and just tell what times you want to need an appointment and press Send, that will actually show up on my phone as a text message, and it will also show up in Heather's email, and she will make sure that we keep that schedule. She and I meet 4 times a week to make sure we're going to stay on top of things a little bit. Each year we're trying to get better and better about staying on top of things, and she's going to help me with that and keep a schedule and update it. Now do try to give us 24 hours advance notice before you schedule before you try to schedule a meeting one-on-one, because I might fill in my schedule and not update that calendar with fun projects. I don't know. Oh, another thing to think about currently the way I've set it up is students may write to each other. So once, this currently doesn't have any students in it, but once there are more students here, this 2 box will have teachers, and it will have students, and it will have parents, and students can write to each other. I have not yet had an issue where I had to take that privilege away, but I try to encourage students to directly work with each other and get to know each other, and it's hard to find people like them, and they can find each other and talk. But I will be talking to the students about be positive, be professional. I'm not gonna, we're not asking them to do anything that engineers don't have to do in their everyday professional lives. You know, when my husband sends emails at IBM, he is positive and professional, and we're going to be expecting that as our students are speaking to their colleagues as well. So that is available right now. If there's any issue with that, please let me know. If there's any unkind stuff going on, we want to help people with that. There are assignments. Assignments are graded on a check basis. If you have done a good try, you're going to get a 10-point full credit. Then the details will be in the feedback and questions that I send back, and Heather's going to be mostly making sure that we stay up to date on grading. Okay, we covered the Haiku inbox. Okay, being in the electric classroom. I found that a lot of students don't know what spamming the chat is, students who've been in there. So mostly to prevent feedback, I'm talking and the students are writing in the text box. I do love for students one at a time to turn their microphone on, ask a question, then turn their microphone on, so that we don't get feedback. They'll need to mute themselves most of the time. And it's fine if they say things, you know, little comments back and forth, you know, in the chat window are fine, but we need to not put just random letters to fill up the chat or things like that, because that's how I see questions and comments from students a lot of the times. A lot of students don't feel comfortable opening up their microphone. And so please use that. It's okay to say one or two things to each other that everybody can see, but, you know, it'd be like having a conversation in a room when people are trying to do things. And this is the Hermione rule. It's really heartbreaking because I am just a 47-year-old Hermione. Try to think about having 3 comments or questions or answers sometimes. It's hard because we're a room full of gifted kids, but just try to make students aware of leaving space for others to ask or answer questions. Even though it might be quiet, some students and your student might feel they need to fill that space with an answer. They can often, and I have a couple of students I know who are showing up this year who are very helpful for me when it's really quiet, and I can really rely on them and call on them to, you know, do you have an answer? And they'll be brave and show the rest of the class that they can try to answer the question. So that's really good. But try to leave that quiet space for other students who might be shy about starting up. So sometimes we need to implement that rule and kind of hold it. Okay, and then office hours, and you'll send inbox mail to Mrs. Johnson. And that's it. That's all I have to do we will be setting things up and making sure everybody can log in and everybody's good between now and class time next week. So looking forward to it. Talk to you soon. Bye.